Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're actually putting away the complex data sheets and dense research papers. Instead, we're going to embark on a really incredible visual journey into a single, highly significant botanical specimen. We're going to flex our visual analysis muscles a bit and see just how much history, science, and culture a single image can yield, when we truly take the time to look.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to completely shift your mindset right now. In our super fast-paced world, we're so used to just quickly scanning past images on our screens, right? Absorbing them in literally fractions of a second. But today, we're going to do the exact opposite. We are engaging in slow, deliberate visual observation. Ask yourself, how much can we actually learn simply by looking closely, by dissecting the visual evidence right in front of our eyes? Well, let's find out together. All right, Section 1, the botanical specimen, our initial impressions. Take a second to just absorb this entire image. We're looking at a cluster of leaves seemingly sprouting from these branches. And the leaves are absolutely the undisputed focal point here. They take up the vast majority of the frame. Behind them, slightly out of focus, we can see these light brown, woody branches, providing a nice structural backdrop to the whole canopy. Now, if we were to break down our initial macro-level scan into a few key takeaways, they'd look exactly like this. First off, the color is striking, right? It's this rich, vibrant green that totally dominates the composition. Second, the shape stands out immediately. I mean, these aren't your simple everyday ovals. They have a distinct, broad, almost heart-like base that drastically changes as you move down the leaf. Third, the tips of these leaves are incredibly elongated and tapering. And finally, running through that sea of green, we have these pale, really prominent veins. These four foundational clues tell us exactly what we're looking at: the leaf of the revered peepal tree, or Ficus religiosa. Moving right along, Section 2, analyzing leaf shape, or morphology. Now, what's really interesting about this is the dramatic physical contour of the leaves, especially those really prominent ones right in the foreground. Do you observe how wide and generous the base is? It has this beautiful sweeping curve, kind of reminiscent of a heart shape right where it meets the stem, before the margins start to curve inward quite sharply. And that sharp inward curve leads us to arguably the most striking morphological feature we have to look at today. Look closely at the bottom of these leaves. They don't just come to a standard point. They culminate in a unique, highly exaggerated, and dramatically elongated thread-like tip. It almost looks as if the leaf has been manually pulled or stretched out at the very end. So in botany, this is actually called a drip tip. But how might this exaggerated shape function out in nature? Well, the peepal tree absolutely thrives in heavy monsoon regions. If you imagine a massive downpour hitting that broad base, this elongated tip is perfectly engineered to channel water droplets, allowing them to just run off quickly rather than pooling and damaging the surface. It's a literal case of form perfectly matching ecological function. Okay, Section 3, the structural vein network. I want you to direct your eyes right down the center of literally any of these prominent leaves. Observe that thick central line running vertically. This is called the midrib. In our specimen, it's a stark, pale yellow color that heavily contrasts against the darker green tissue. It essentially acts as the central highway of the leaf, providing structural support and acting as the main conduit for resources. To analyze this properly, we definitely need the right vocabulary. The term for this is venation, the arrangement of veins in a leaf. Just like in our own bodies, these are absolutely critical pathways for resources. And interestingly, over in Ayurveda, the rich compounds transported through these specific veins are highly valued. In fact, peepal leaf extracts are traditionally used to treat everything from asthma to skin conditions. Pretty amazing, right? And this brilliantly illustrates how the smaller veins branch outward from that central pale yellow midrib. Notice how they don't run parallel. Instead, they branch and intersect, creating this highly intricate net-like pattern that goes all the way out to the leaf's edges. This is known as reticulant venation. Visually, it looks almost like an incredibly detailed topographical map, which gives the surface of the leaf an amazing sense of texture and complexity. Let's move to Section 4, light, color, and texture. Photography captures light, and lighting really reveals a leaf's texture. Just notice the glossy reflection on the smooth, waxy surface here, and that slight translucency that literally lets the veins glow from within. This interaction with sunlight is obviously how the tree photosynthesizes, but the peepal is actually ecologically unique. Unlike most plants, it's known to release significant amounts of oxygen even at night, all thanks to some highly specialized metabolic adaptations. Another absolutely crucial visual element here is depth. We're relying heavily on the contrast between the foreground sharpness and the background softness. The leaves closest to us are captured with crisp, deep clarity. I mean, you can practically feel the ridges of those reticulate veins. But right behind them, the world immediately falls away into this very soft, buttery blur. Look one last time at those background elements. The earthy, muted brown and ochre tones of the out-of-focus woody stems create a massive color contrast. By throwing the background out of focus and keeping those colors muted, the visual impact of the vibrant, sharp green leaves in the foreground is seriously amplified. They quite literally pop right off the screen because of this brilliant interplay of light, color, and focus. Which brings us to Section 5, Concluding Visual Observations. So, the crucial point is, look at the sheer volume of data we just extracted. Visually, we mapped the glossy translucency, the heart-like base with its incredible monsoon-adapted drip tip, and that complex reticulate venation. But by looking just a little bit closer, we uncovered the identity of the Ficus religiosa, revealing its ancient Ayurvedic healing properties and its totally unique round-the-clock oxygen production. It really makes you think, doesn't it? We uncovered functional engineering, medicinal value, and true ecological wonders, all from a single observation. But actually, scratch that. Perhaps the most incredible hidden detail here is cultural. You see, this specific leaf shape belongs to the Bodhi tree, the very species under which the Buddha is said to have attained enlightenment. What looks like a simple green leaf is actually a profound ancient symbol of awakening. So what other incredible details are hiding in plain sight in your world, just waiting for you to truly observe them? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.